Alright, I'm back with another Destiny video. I am mildly annoyed because I just recorded 90% of this video and my computer crashed and the whole thing got corrupted. So here we are. It's a video Bungie doesn't want you to see because they sabotaged it. No, I'm just kidding. This is about something in the longer term for Destiny based on the State of the Game post that Joe Blackburn wrote last week. There's a lot of news in there, but among the highlights were the fact that we are existing in the first saga of Destiny, which is the Light and Dark saga that started with Destiny 1 and the Traveler's Arrival, and now is going through 3 more expansions past where we are now. The Witch Queen in early 2022, and probably Lightfall in early 2023. And then they announced another expansion that is not named yet, that will probably be in 2024. So that, whatever that is, will be the end of the current saga of Destiny, which, when all is said and done, will probably last about a full decade. This is the kind of original 10-year plan that Bungie had for Destiny that everybody mocked them for, and no one ever thought they'd get there. Here they are. They separated from Activision to do it, but they are hitting that mark, and they are clearly going past it, because if there is a first saga, that obviously means there's a second saga. Even if that starts in 2020, late 2024, early 2025, or later, it's not as far away as you think. Think about 4 years ago, in 2017, wasn't that far. So it'll be here sooner than we think. I'm believing that this is going to be a big breaking point for Destiny in terms of it will break away fully from Destiny 2, a game which was developed on last gen years ago at this point, and by that point we'll have had 5 expansions for it, 6. I'm losing track with the new one they added, but a ton of stuff that they will be adding and subtracting. So I think that is a grand kind of start over point, a fully clean break like we saw between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. That means losing all your stuff. That means wiping the map and starting over with new zones. And I don't think we can complain about that at this point. I mean, Destiny 2 at that point will be very old and very jammed full of a bunch of overlapping stuff. And at some point you do kind of have to wipe the slate clean. Now that sunsetting is dead, we'll be using the same weapons and armor and stuff for years and years at that point, which I think is fine, but eventually that can't last forever, obviously. So this would be a fully new game developed, down the road in the next generation of consoles, probably more than halfway through the next generation of consoles, meaning it'll have even more potential than anything that we would see that would come out now. And I don't know whether they'll call it Destiny 3 or if they'll just migrate to it being the grand Destiny universe type thing. But I do think it'll be a full game. I don't think it'll just be like a new expansion that is starting a new saga or something like that. I think that this is the first time, if we're going to a fully new sequel, that this is the first time that Destiny will leave our solar system for new places to explore. There are a lot of potential places to choose from here. The Hive homeworld area, the Cabal home system that was destroyed by the Hive, whatever that weird Vex thing is that Clovis Bray saw, where the Vex are like powering a sun or something. That was crazy. Wherever the darkness came from, wherever the Traveler came from, if it's not just like empty space sitting somewhere, there's a lot of potential stuff out there that we could kind of explore beyond our own system. I don't think Bungie is just going to keep making, post-apocalyptic Earth zones and then like, here's the 4th section of Mars to explore now. Like, I think they're going to move on past our system at a certain point. We will see how that exactly manifests and how many zones that launches with, but I would not expect to see that before then. I think we will keep seeing things reprised from Destiny 1 and new areas, like everyone's predicting Old Chicago for the Witch Queen. We could see things like the Dreadnought come back, things like that. But I think fully leaving the system would be kind of the focus of the next game. Hopefully not a Mass Effect Andromeda, like let's go to a new galaxy and leave literally everything behind, because that didn't go so well, but something to kind of connect both the current system we have and new potential places to explore. I also think that this is the first time probably, Destiny will get a fully new race of enemies, at least one. The 2 races they've added since launch have been the Taken, which are just reskins of existing races, and then the Scorn, which are technically Fallen. They are mechanically a new race, but they are just kind of a subsection of Fallen and not really involved in the story that much, and their mechanics are still based on kind of existing characters we have now. Like they're kind of rigged, like the Abomination is rigged in the ogre frame and things like that. So they're not fully new. We're gonna need, if the saga of Light and Dark is over in some form or another, we're going to need a new enemy to face off against. So I would kind of assume that that will be some sort of new mysterious force that we start fighting. That hopefully is not like a paracausal square or something, like something a little more shootable than that, shall we say, is a new race. I'd say at least one. And then finally, I think this could also be a time where Destiny may choose to move beyond the existing kind of 3-and-3 races and classes we have now. We have humans, Exo, and Awoken, and we have Hunters, Titans, and what's the last one? Oh, yeah, Warlocks. Um, it's been like this since the start, and this is something that did not change from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, but it is very unusual in an RPG that this would never kind of evolve. We could see that again, and yet I think this could be time where, with all the alliances we're forming, we could have an Elixni race or a Cabal race, if we end up allied with them, and they could use light or darkness, depending. This would be tricky because the problem there is armor design, because the armor can be currently shared between the humanoid classes, but it probably wouldn't fit a Cabal as well, so that would be a barrier to entry there. You could have some other secretly discovered humanoid race that they add for story reasons. There's the mysterious tiger people that were, I think, concepts for Destiny 1 that were never introduced, that are a meme. I don't think we'll get tiger people, but I wouldn't say no to it. In terms of classes, I don't know if it'll expand beyond Hunter, Titan, and Warlock if we haven't already. I think by the time Destiny 2 is over, we are going to have 3 new darkness subclasses. I think that has been the plan the entire time. So we would end the game with 6 subclasses, period. And that is a change from Destiny 2, because Destiny 1 went to Destiny 2 with just the same 3 elements. But it seems pretty clear that they're building out these darkness subclasses on top of what we have already. So we could go into Destiny 3, the next Saga or whatever it is, to retain all of those subclasses. It would be kind of weird to build all those up, and then you get to a new game and surprise, you are back down to, just the base light elements again. We don't know how the saga of Light and Darkness will end. Maybe if darkness is defeated, we lose all of our darkness powers or something. That would be a little lame. But anything's possible. But this is the first time I kind of see any of these major changes happening, like moving outside our system, potential new races of enemies, potential new full classes or races that we can play as. I just think that they are going to continue with the way things are currently going, just kind of expanding within the current narrative and the conflict they've set up. So I'm not really going to wait around expecting a new race with each expansion now. If we do see one, it might just be like, oh, here's a modified version of the Hive that's like Savathun Swamp Breed or something, or we might get new individual units like we've seen with the Wyvern and the Brig and stuff like that. But the larger things I think will be saved for a second saga. The second saga could also just flat out include all the big multimedia expansion plans that Destiny is hinting at with their recent hires. Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy are moving on to sort of the grand world universe building aspect of Destiny to kind of make it a multimedia franchise. They've hired board members that have worked in TV. So I'm sure that would be part of it. I think that we'll probably see at least these projects announced or shown before 2025. That's like pretty far away. I wouldn't expect necessarily like Destiny's going to debut a new show like at the exact same time that they launch, Destiny 3. And they also are supposed to debut an entirely new IP before that. So we might hear something about that before then. That could be anything. That could be movies, TV shows, anime, graphic novels, actual novels. The range is endless there. But I've heard some people think that, okay, well, that's what they mean by second saga. It's just going to be Destiny transitioning from video games to media. It's not just going to be that. Like, they are going to keep making games. Destiny is their flagship property. It's not like Halo because they fully own it. And when they left Microsoft, they had to leave Halo behind because they couldn't pay $1 zillion to take it with them. Destiny is something they have built from scratch. They are going to clearly keep investing in it because Destiny has been the thing that has allowed for this type of massive expansion so far. And it is something that they 100% own. It is theirs, and they are not going to ditch it. It just is going to need to evolve at some point because you can't just keep stacking new stuff on Destiny 2 forever. You can keep doing that for apparently 3 or 4 more years, which is what we're going to see. But at the end of that, like, I think most people will agree, like, even if it means starting over from scratch, it's probably going to be time to move on. And that is when I'm expecting fully new game, like big, full new areas, like new everything, essentially. And then we'll see what they start pulling in from, we'll have 5 years of returning Destiny 2 and Destiny 1 weapons instead of only Destiny 1 weapons this time around. So that'll be its own sort of fun. But those are some of my thoughts on the second saga of Destiny that we know pretty much nothing about other than it exists. There will be years to talk about this, but it's just something that's been on my mind since the state of the game, and we'll see what the first thing is they announce. We got to get through all these other expansions first, so it may be a while, but I think there's plenty of signs that Destiny is going to continue indefinitely into the future, even past the years we already have mapped out. All right, hopefully this video recorded and didn't glitch out on me, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.